Hey y'all, this is Gail teaching gentle yoga for low back care. Actually, for back care, it's not only the low backs, it's also the upper back, mid back, our core, all that good stuff. Oftentimes, we have a lot of challenges with the back, and this particular class is specific yoga postures to ease back challenges, also to lessen chronic daily pain. You'll need a yoga strap, a yoga block. Yes, we do ask you to have this kind of gear for this class. But you know what? You don't have to have that gear to do the class. But I send you a recording later on and try it with the gear. Notice the differences with gear, without gear. Yeah. All right. I'm going to stand up. I use the chair to come down to the floor because I have spicy back pain. Can I say that again? Yes. Spicy back pain. That helps me not have more pain. All right. I'm going to stand up, move the front chair out of the way, and I'll come back up to the front of the room at near the end portion of our class for our guided rest and relaxation and our gratitude practice. So again, I've got my block, my strap close by. You can alternatively do this class totally seated on the chair. Just know that, okay? Some of the postures translate well, some do not. We're just going to do the best we can with what we got. So I'm going to squeeze my belly button and come over to the chair, bend the knees, step 1 foot back, come softly onto that nice knee, and then come over to be on my behind. I just kind of tip over. Again, one knee does not like to cooperate today. We typically start out in constructive rest posture. So that one is a lovely yoga posture for reducing, releasing tightly held back challenges. One version of constructive rest pose is to put the legs up on the chair. We won't do that in yoga class today, but just know that's an option. Or legs on the couch, that works too. So I'm going to softly, slowly come down to my back. Oof. And again, if you're seated in the chair, sit comfortably. We're going to start with the breath. Veterans Yoga Project classes do breathing, mindful movement, guided rest, relaxation, meditation, and gratitude practice. So for me, lying on my back is very challenging. I have to modify to make it feel okay. I just grab my wrist and pull that shoulder up and away. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. Pull it up and away. And then sometimes I have to walk my feet towards my behind, lift my behind, and roll the spine down to make the back side of my body feel a little bit better. All right, I'm going to start the calorie counter just to see how many calories we burn today with this class. And I'll tell you at the end. Very good. Got that started. Hands can either rest on your torso or out to the side, or if you're seated on that chair, comfortably palms up on your lap. But I like on the belly, low belly above the belly button, so I can notice the belly rising as we breathe in, and then contracting, sinking, falling as we exhale. So I'm going to move my feet just a little bit away. Very good. From here, let's breathe in through the nose. Belly expands, chest expands. Here we go. And as we exhale, just let everything fall, contract towards the floor. You might feel a little lower abdominal activation when you really contract the belly button towards the spine. Again, breathe in, belly big. And then exhale, belly button towards the floor. Relax those shoulders. Relax the body into the floor. Breathe in, belly big. And exhale. Relax those shoulders too. Now, if you happen to have kyphosis, lordosis, this might feel kind of awkward for the upper body, the lower body. Some folks will take a yoga blanket, place it underneath the shoulders, the back of the head. One way to kind of gauge this is when you're looking straight at the ceiling, does your nose point like straight at the ceiling, or do you find your nose kind of tilted to looking back behind you? So that's an indication that maybe you have an excessive curve in the cervical spine and the thoracic spine. What you can do is either have that, low thickness towel underneath the back of the head, or take your hands back here on that bumpy part of the head, lift it up, and kind of tuck in the chin towards the chest. Now, it, creates a couple of chins when you do that, but it's a little bit more of a better alignment of the ears aligned with the shoulders, aligned with the hips. Again, if you're having spicy low back stuff, maybe a blanket underneath the back side of your body. We're going to do knee to chest posture. you're seated in the chair, you might want to grab your yoga strap, place it along the bottom of your foot. In fact, I'm going to do that even lying on my back. I got to lift up to make that happen. And then invite the knee in towards the chest. Now, some folks will do hands back behind the knee pit to make this happen. What you're trying to notice here is how much of the leg is into that hip crease, the side waist, or into the low ribs. It's not a judgment. It's just where are you with your range of motion, your ability today? If it's spicy, if you feel some stuff going on in the side hip musculature, in the back side, in the front. Again, things to notice, especially when we have back challenges. Now we're going to move knee to chest posture. And again, I'm going to put my strap along the bottom of the foot and extend our leg out to where it's straight. Now, if you're seated, you may have to contract your belly button towards your spine to make this happen, or you can be really low to the floor. Those of us lying on our back, see where this feels comfortable with it being somewhat straight. Now, this is about, this kind of 90-degree angle is about where I can be with this one. I feel my hamstrings, back of my legs, getting a strong sensation. I'm flexing my heel, calf contracted, and stimulating the bottom of the foot. Great for plantar fasciitis. Now my foot tends to turn out to the side, so my challenge is line up the toes with my shin, my knee, my thigh. And then I get a little bit more sensation going on with this particular pose. Now, we're going to breathe in, belly soft, invite the knee in towards our chest. And then exhale, extend that leg out. Keep breathing, keep moving. Inhaling and exhaling. So this is to invite, let's see here, less rusting of our knee joints, of our hip joints, increasing a little bit of flexibility in those areas. This will help us to have a better ability of walking, a better walking gait when you kind of work these particular areas. Now my mom does this, she's 96. She does this before she gets out of the bed every morning because that helps her with her walking, with her ability to navigate and still be in her own home at age 96. Notice if your knees are talking, if they're making little crinkly sounds, if your hips are popping, if you feel some kind of challenges, go slower, breathe, notice the breath. And if you get mixed up on the breath, that's okay. Just keep breathing, okay? Last week we were battling mosquitoes in class. We don't have mosquitoes this time, so fear not. There won't be all that distraction of me swatting those mosquitoes away. I'm sure that was somewhat humorous, or not. Let's do one more. Extend that leg out, and then knee into chest. And I'm going to drop my strap, hands back behind my knee pit, and we're going to do point and flex of the foot. Again, you may hear some stuff. That crepitus is the official name for it. I've got crepitus. It's not a bad thing. It's just noisy body parts, okay? Woo! You may notice a kind of a sensation in the shin, top of the ankle, the foot. Now make that into circles. And just notice those ligaments kind of moving a little bit in the tops of the feet, near the ankles, especially if you have had any kind of injury or challenge with your feet in your past history. And then reverse. Again, isolation of the ankle helps you to have better balance, better walking ability, which that's also beneficial for lessening back challenges. It's also interrelated. And then release this leg down to the floor. Yay. Let's do the other one. So I'm going to squeeze my belly button. I'm going to use my yoga pant to bring the leg up because this is my spicy side. And again, I'm going to take the strap along the bottom of the foot. You can do that or not, but we're going to invite the knee into the chest. So for me on this side, this is more into my hip crease compared to the other side. It was more into my side waist. And I've got more sensation. That's the word for it. It's not quite pain, but it's like almost, okay? So I have scoliosis. I think I mentioned before, spinal stenosis, retrolisthesis, disc degeneration, bulging discs, all sorts of back stuff, okay? Now, let's go ahead and extend the leg straight. And for me, this is, again, my challenge side, so it's more away from my body with a straight leg than it is towards my chest. because I had some strong sensations in the quadricep, front of the leg, the back of the leg, hamstring, and in the side hip musculature. We're going to start moving this with an inhale breath. So inhale, invite the knee in towards your chest. Exhale, extend it out, tight belly button. Inhale, knee into chest. Now I like it lying on your back with the strap because I can go a little bit more towards the floor because I know I'm going to be able to use that strap to bring it back. Because I like to kind of work this challenge side a little bit more vigorous than the other because it helps me deal with the stuff I have to deal with, the pain. It makes it less. So again, if you rest, you're going to rust. So I'm trying to get that rust out of those knees, out of those hips. Woo! Years ago, I think it was 2018, I had to use a walker. I was having so much back pain. And, I'm a yoga teacher. I should know what all this stuff is about, but I was doing yoga postures that was making my pain more spicy. So I went to town, found some training to help me figure out, okay, what do I need to be doing to help me with my pain? And then Veterans Yoga Project liked the idea of me teaching this particular class online for them. So y'all get the benefit of my stuff. Because, it's probably your stuff too, right? This is great for a beginner's class too, by the way, because we don't do anything too vigorous, but we do work our bodies. Woo! All right, we're going to do one more. Extend it out wherever you are and invite it in towards your chest. Now, if you want, you can slide the strap underneath the back of the knee and hang on to the back of the knee that way. Belly button tight. Maybe lean back if you're seated in the chair. That helps facilitate knee into chest. Let's point and flex the other foot. Ooh. Again, do you notice that stiffness going on in the top of the foot? Y'all don't have to answer. I'm just going to ask all these questions and, allow you to think about this yourself, okay? Woo. Now, ankle circles. Ooh, oh my. Just note, does this feel different on this foot compared to the other? Probably, maybe. If you're in this class for back pain, it probably does. You're thinking, why do my feet feel different if I have back pain? It's all interconnected, folks. And reverse. Go the other way. Ooh, I feel a little snap, crackle, pops going on there. I'm talking loud enough so you don't hear it because it's loud. Now I've got a little bunion on this foot. Bunions also contribute to back pain, by the way. Yep. And then relax and release it. All right, we're going to bring this foot back down to the floor. Yay. Let's clap our hands. Get some heat into the hands. And then move it into the fingers. And then contract your belly button. Now, if you're seated, this is going to be easier for you to do. But you're going to take your hand on top of your knee and rub gently. And then the other hand on top of that knee. You can go slow. And then reverse, other direction. And then for knee pain, whatever leg that you have brought in towards your chest, you're going to take that same side arm, use the palm of the hand, and tap, tap, tap on the outside, on the meniscus. Not to where it's going to hurt you, just a nice little soft tap. This is some energy work that you can do, some acupressure points. And release it, foot down to the floor. Let's do the other side. Clap the hands first. Rub, get some heat going on. This is great for circulation. Osteoarthritis, arthritis of the hands, I love it. And then squeeze your belly button and invite the other leg in. And if you're seated, just kind of hinge forward a little bit and then rub on top of your knee. Be kind, be slow, be fast. Do what you need to do, yeah? And then reverse. Thinking you're going to be nice and tender if you have nice and tender knees, yeah? And again, whatever knee you have invited in towards your chest, you're going to take that same side arm, use the palm of your hand, and tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, that's good. Now, we're going to do notice posture. So for you seated on the chair, you're going to extend the legs where you're laying on the back of the heels. Those of us lying on our backs, we're going to squeeze that belly button, extend the leg. This is not as effective seated in the chair, but you kind of get the point. You can try this at home on your bed. Ooh, this is my spicy side. Oh my gosh. So my spicy side feels all drawn up. So I hope through these yoga postures we do today, you feel relief. And you're just noticing what you notice. How does it feel in the hip bones, the side hip musculature? Are your calves, are the back of the legs, back of the knees touching? For some folks, this is really spicy, so they have to bend the knees and be on the back of the heels to lie here on the floor. So just notice what you notice. That's why it's called notice posture. Again, squeeze the belly button, go back to feet on the floor, constructive rest pose. And then we're going to do overhead extension, squeeze the yoga block. So I'm going to real quick to show the hand configuration of this. So we're going to take our palms and fold them into the pads of our hands. And then you try to not have cocked wrists here. You try to have the top of the hand aligned with the forearm because that strengthens the upper back musculature when we do the squeezing parts. So you grab your yoga block, whether you're seated, whether you're lying on your back. And this one's a little bit of a challenge to be on the chair because it works gravity a little different, but it's still very workable. So I'm going to move my strap out of the way, come back into constructive rest pose. Okay, that feels okay, comfortable. I'm grabbing that yoga block. I'm taking the medium width in between the knees. Now, if you don't have a yoga block, you can grab a couch pillow, fold it in half, or roll up a towel, or just do the inside of the knees, okay? So let me move my yoga pant a little bit. It's kind of bunchy there. Yoga pant problems. It always happens that way. And again, I'm going to take the back of my hands, kind of lift that back of the head away. I'm kind of making this feel okay with my spine because, again, I got a big old curve in my spine, and one side is like really grounded versus the other. Now I'm going to walk my feet in towards one another to where I feel that little inner thigh contraction, and I hope you all feel that too. And from here, we're going to go into that golfer's grip. So we're going to fold the fingers into the pad of the hand, and then you have your hands out in front of you like you were flying in the air, okay? I know it seems weird, but this is just how we're going to start, okay? Then, so it's parallel arms to the floor if you're seated in the chair. Very good. I see y'all in the camera doing this. All right. We're going to bend the elbows to where the back of the arms are on the floor, and you have bent elbow, parallel arms. Very good. Now from here, with those hands, as best you can, those fingers into, we're going to turn the thumbs towards the center of the body, and then press, squeeze the shoulders towards one another, and then release. Now keep a constant squeeze on the block, and if you want to heel toe in a little bit to feel a little bit stronger, please do so. And let's do that again. Squeeze the shoulders, press into the floor if you're on the yoga mat, and release. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the block if you want to, a little extra too. Woo! And release. Two more. Here we go. Squeeze and release. One more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze the block, and release. Now hands in front of you, clap the hands, rub the hands, because sometimes holding that golfer's grip is a big time challenge. So this is for strengthening not only the low back, the hips, all that hip musculature. It's the upper body in the equation too. It's a 2 for the price of 1. I love it. Now, interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms. The arms are like super in front of you. Now, for those of us lying on the ground, drop the shoulders so they lay on the ground, and then make sure your elbows look the same. My right elbow likes to turn out, so I always have to think, okay, make it look like my left elbow. Now, from here, with the squeezy palms, contracted belly button towards the spine, squeezy block, slowly, don't force it, bring the arms up and overhead. Now, go slow, because it's going to be an abdominal challenge. Don't forget to breathe. You're going to stop where it feels natural. One shoulder may say, ooh, that's enough. So I'm right here on the outside of my glasses. I can squeeze my arms in between and lift my glasses off my face. That's where it's at. Now, belly button tight, bring it back slowly. That's the challenge. Slowly back in front of you. Squeeze that block. Everything squeezy, squeezy. Whew. Release that. Clap the hands. Rub those hands. Relax a little bit. Just a little bit, though. Not much. Of course, right? And then, again, go back to golfer's grip. Fold the fingers in. Ooh, I got that one finger down. I got two more to get down. Turn the thumbs towards the center and then bend at the elbows. Here we go. Parallel arms and then letter T arms. So this is called letter T arms overhead extension yoga posture. Wow, block bridge. Here we go. Squeeze, squeeze everything. Squeeze together, squeeze to the floor and release. Let's do that again. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Only 3 more. Squeeze and release. Not really. We're going to do one more set. Squeeze, and release. And last one. Squeeze that block. Squeeze those shoulders. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Great for kyphosis. Oh my gosh. All right, hands in front of your chest. Clap the hands. Relax the inner thighs just for a second, but don't let the blocks drop. Block drop. I don't think I've said that before. Ooh, I need some heat on those hands. My hands are getting kind of challenged here. And then interlace the fingers, super straight arms, drop the shoulders if you're on the yoga mat, belly button tight. Here we go. Elbows aside, up and overhead. Now, I'm going too fast. I got to slow down. Now, sometimes this gives me spasms in the back, and I'll just kind of back off a little bit. Ooh, now I'm kind of on the side of my glasses. So my range of motion has increased a little bit. See if you notice that too, okay? Belly button tight? I hope so. You're going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your core. Squeeze the block. Bring it back in front of your chest. Slow, because you want the challenge and you hate it. Well, okay. I'm speaking truth here, right? Clap the hands. Release. Woo! Again, you can unsqueeze the block a little bit. Sometimes we like super squeeze that block for the entire time. You don't have to do that. Doesn't have to be 100%, maybe 50%, okay? What are we going to do? Golfer's grip. Go back. Fold the fingers in. Ooh, they got in. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Turn the thumbs to the center. All right, we're going to bend at the back of the elbows. Press the back of the arms into the floor. Parallel arms if you're seated. Here we go. Squeeze everything. And release. Do that again. Squeeze and release. I'm not cueing the breath. You all just keep breathing, okay? Squeeze and release. 1, 2 more, 3 more. Squeeze and release. Y'all know I don't know how to count. How about 1 more? Squeeze, 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 and release. Clap the hands in front. Whew. We got to do 1 more overhead extension. So interlace the palms, squeeze the palms, elbows the same, drop the shoulders if you're on the floor, squeeze the belly button. Here we go. Here's the challenge. Go slow, don't go fast. Slow, slow, slow. Breathe. I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. So typically I can wiggle my thumbs and touch the floor. Today, not so much. It's different every day. And it's okay wherever you are in your little journey here, yeah? Squeeze that belly button. Here we go. Bring it back. Squeeze the block in front of you. Yay. Once you're there, clap the hands. Get that pressure going on. Get that heat, that warmth, that circulation. I love it. Take your block out. Now, we're going to do one that we typically do at the end. And if you're seated on a chair, you're either going to take the tall side or the long side and press your low back into the chair. You're going to need the yoga strap, though, for this when you're seated in the chair. Those of us lying on the ground, walk your feet towards your behind. You're either going to take your own muscular strength and lift your bottom up, or lift your bottom up and slide your yoga block underneath. So this is number 1 reason for having a yoga block. If you can't be on the floor today, you still need the yoga block. Maybe you want to try this on the couch or the bed and see, what goodness this is. Now, you're seated on the chair, you're going to maybe want to take that strap along the bottom of the foot for the next version of this pose. So block bridge allows several things to happen when you're lying on your back. Helps with pelvic organ prolapse. That's the rectum, that's the bladder, that's the male, the female parts. You're working gravity in a different direction. I'm going to mention that every time I teach this class because Y'all need to know that, okay? When you go towards being vintage, things tend to be different. I'm just going to say that, okay? So now we're going to lift a leg off the ground, or you can keep it on the ground, if you're seated in the chair, we're going to shake the leg. So we're doing lymphatic drainage here when we do this. And then shake it side to side. Now you can use your hands to shake if you need to, if you're seated in the chair. Sometimes it's hard to lift the foot off and shake the leg. Move that hair out of the way. This also helps facilitate being in this yoga posture a little bit longer, helps release that tension happening with the back. Shake, shake, shake. My goodness. Why are people calling me? Sorry about that. I thought I had it on silent. And then release this foot down to the floor. Let's do the other side. Lift it up. Do what you can. Shake, shake, shake. See if you can shake it enough to where the toes wiggle on their own. They might. And then side to side. My side to side doesn't work very well on this side. It's different. It's different than the other side. And again, shake, shake, shake. We're stimulating the lymph nodes to reduce that waste. If you get swelling in the feet, the ankles, this is helpful for that. And then if you want to do both feet, bring the other leg up and just alternate shaking. If you're in the chair, shake. So now you can kind of compare at the same time how this feels, one side versus the other, and wiggle side to side. And then shake, shake, shake. Very good. Now, squeeze the belly button, bring one leg down. I'm going to use my hand to guide that leg, and the other. And then you're going to lift up, peel that yoga block up and off, and roll your spine down. Notice how you feel. You should feel like some easement going on here. It's not as noticeable seated in the chair. Just kind of know that. And then we're going to do the notice pose. So extend one leg. Wow. Okay, and then the other. And see if you remember what it felt like before. Maybe you can do little windshield wipers with your feet, little windshield wipers with your hips, little movement side to side, little shoulders, and just kind of sink, settle, and notice how the body feels connected to the floor. It should feel different than what we did from the beginning of the class. All right, from here, squeeze the belly button, slide the foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. And for those of us with SI joint dysfunction, lift up and then turn. We're going to come up to seated. So it's either seated on your behind on the floor or seated in the chair. And I'm looking to see, there's my yoga blanket. So for me, I need that yoga blanket because it's spicy to sit on the floor. I fold it into thirds, a big towel, or get a cushion. And then I sit my behind on the edge of the blanket. It allows my pelvis to tilt forward, which makes the breathing space, the feeling better in the yoga posture better for me. So again, if you tend to have very tight hips, like your knees are more up towards you than they are towards the floor, sitting on the blanket, having two yoga blocks, maybe placing the underside of the leg on the yoga block, kind of figure out, what you need here, or if you even need it at all. Now, typically we sit crisscross yoga sauce, or maybe a leg extended, one leg in. Again, whatever feels okay. Seated on the chair, your legs look like number 11s or parallel. Let me see how this works today. So again, my pelvis kind of tilts forward here. It's like I'm flaring my tailbone to the back of the room, and it allows my rib cage to kind of flare forward a little bit. So one of the yoga postures we do for lessening kyphosis, excessive curvature of the cervical spine and, the interconnected thoracic spine, is shoulder shrugs with a twist to the side. So we'll do that, and then we'll do our 6 essential spinal movements. And then we'll do a couple of standing postures, depending on our time here. And what else will we do? The guided rest gratitude practice. So inhale, shrug shoulders up towards the ears. Now for the second part, exhale, twist to the side. One hand in front, one arm back behind you. Squeeze these shoulders up, and then inhale back to the center and release. Let that tension just kind of wash away. Good, good. We're going to do that again. So let's breathe in, shoulder shrugs up. Now exhale, looks weird, twist over to the other side, your chin aligned with your chest. Whew. Inhale back to the center and relax and release. Let it all just kind of melt away, just like you're just sloughing off that energy. We're going to do one side again. This time we will reverse the breath. So first breathe in, belly big. Now exhale, squeeze the belly button, shoulders up. Inhale, release the belly, turn. Oh, and shoulders up. That's hard to do, isn't it? Whew. And then bring it back to the center and release. So first, belly big, breathe in, shoulders down. Exhale, squeeze up and twist. Inhale back to the center and release. Okay, so you probably felt that tension happening in the upper back. It's a great back strengthener. Some of our other seated postures, whether on the floor or on the chair, also strengthening for both the upper and lower back and our core. So the next one is side lateral movement. So basically we'll inhale, circle, sweep arms up, keep one arm up. Now either grab the underside of the chair or hand back behind you. You scoot forward on the chair on that, or fist or wrist back behind you, squeeze that back shoulder, and then inhale, really reach. Belly button tight as you exhale, lean over. So you're going to get into that QL, piriformis psoas muscle right here with side lateral flexion. Inhale back on up. Exhale, float it down. If you were here a little bit before class started, I read about the sciatica and all the muscles that were included. So that was one, again, addressing some of the things going on with the sciatica with regards to the disc vertebrae. Let's do that again, other side. So inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Other arm stays up. Decide what your hands are, flat wrist or fist. Back behind you, squeeze that back shoulder. And then inhale, reach. It may be different this side. Exhale, belly button tight. Lean that side body over. Different as in the sensation, the range of motion. Inhaling back on up. Exhale, float it down. Let's do that again. Other side. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Reach up. Sneak the other hand back behind you. Squeeze that shoulder. Inhale, up. Exhale, lean that side body over. Ooh, that's the spicy side for me. Inhaling back on up. Exhale, float it down. Now, if I can laugh, then that gives me good drugs in the brain. So sometimes I'll fake a laugh to make it happen. Here we go. Breathe in. And then exhale. Woo. Squeeze back behind you, and then inhale, reach. Exhale, lean that side body over. And again, you may have to bend the elbow to make this happen. Inhale back on up. Exhale, bring it down. Beautiful. All right, just some little alternating shoulder rolls. Ooh, little snap, crackle, pops going on there. And reverse. Reverse seems weird to me because it looks weird to me. Okay, that's just me. Can I say it looks weird? Sure I can. Okay. And then just kind of shake it out. Now, if you want to switch the feet, if you're seated on your behind and you want to switch the feet, switch the feet. If you're feeling like you need a little support, you can place that block underneath. You need to extend the leg. Make it your own, right? So next is unsupported twist. So in back yoga, when you take other classes, and even on this platform, they'll say, take your hand to your opposite leg and then push your body, twist your body into the twist. So you're using that arm as a lever to make it happen. We don't do that in back yoga because sometimes that can be a little bit excessive. So it can be spicy, in other words. So we do unsupported twists, which supports upper back, challenging or strengthening. So we do letter W, arms. And so you naturally squeeze the low, the low shoulder blades, the upper shoulder blades towards one another. So squeezy shoulders. Whew. And then whatever direction you're turning towards, make sure your chin stays aligned with your chest when we do this. So first, squeezy shoulders, breathe in, belly big, relax the belly, exhale, belly button towards your spine, squeezy shoulders, twist towards one direction. So it's your thoracic spine doing all the work, chin line with your chest, so you're not like introducing curved stuff with your cervical spine. Whew. Inhale, back to the center, exhale, release. Relax the shoulders. Now we're going to do that again. Letter W, arms, squeeze the shoulders, activate upper body, strengthen the upper body musculature. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, twist over to the other direction. Notice if you twisted more, if it was a challenge. Again, chin aligned with your chest. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center, release and relax. We're going to do that again, each side, but just kind of wiggle those shoulders a little bit. Sometimes that's quite strenuous with those of us with back challenges. If you need to switch the feet, I'm going to go ahead and switch the feet, see how that feels. I normally don't like switching the feet because it feels odd in my body, but again, do what you can, with what you have. All right, so here we go. Squeeze the shoulders, breathe in, belly big. Squeeze, 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 and twist, twist, twist. As you exhale, breathe in, stay here. Exhale back to the center and release. Whoo! Go back to squeezy shoulders, breathe in, belly big. Squeeze those shoulders, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, belly button tight, twist towards the other side. Ooh, I twisted more. Stay here, breathe in. And exhale back to the center and relax and release. Little wiggling of the shoulders. All right, so if you're doing cat-cow in the chair, come more towards the edge of the chair so you have a little room for you're doing your flexion and extension. You're seated here on the floor, or if you want to transition to hands and knees, if you've done this before, you can go onto the hands and knees and do flowy cat-cow instead. But today I'm teaching seated cat-cow. Hands on the knees, the thighs, the shins, whatever you can grab, so to speak. And then think about ears over the shoulders as best you can. Kind of push that chin to where everything's all nice and aligned here in the chest. We try to keep this ears over the shoulders as we come forward in our cat posture, in our cow posture. And then we curve the spine to the back of the room for cow. So first, breathe in, belly big. Now as we exhale, contract that belly button. The elbows go out to the side as we hinge forward. So we don't drop the chin towards the chest. We don't lift the chin towards the sky. We keep the ears over the shoulders for our spine health, okay? Now belly soft, breathe in. Contract the belly button, come back to tall seated mountain where you sit up nice and tall on the floor, on the chair. Neutral spine, in other words. Now, breathe in, belly big. As we contract the belly button, curve your spine to the back of the room. Again, we kind of look forward. We don't drop the chin up or down. Just keep it nice and aligned. Hang on. And then breathe in. Come forward. Exhaling. Again, breathe in, belly big. Ken, I saw that come across the screen, but I couldn't read what you said. Exhale, hinge forward. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, come back on up. Inhale, stay here, breathe in. Exhale, curve the spine to the back of the room. So this is your extension and flexion of the spine. Come back on up, breathe in, and just rest here. We're going to transition onto our hands and knees. Now, if you want to stay seated in the chair, I'm going to show the flowy cat-cow just so that you have, those of us with lower doses, kyphosis, you have an alternate yoga posture to do when you go to the other yoga classes and you want to have a safe yoga posture for that extension. Now, again, I have spicy knees, so I take that yoga blanket and kind of open it up to where my knees lay on the yoga blanket. It's, again, seated cat-cow on the chair, but if you're doing flowy cat-cow, instead of hands traditionally underneath the shoulders where you're doing the belly down and the spine to the top of the room, again, that's lots of more in the transition areas, not as great for the spine, those of us with back challenges. So we do flowy cat-cow, which is shifting your hands forward, shifting forward and lying on your forearms, booty sticking up in the air, maybe walking the forearms out a little bit. I'm going to walk my knees apart a little bit too. And then you can be on tops of the feet or curly toes. Now, again, I love the cushion underneath the knees. That helps me. So what we do is take your behind towards your heels. And I'm going to walk my elbows in about an inch to help make that happen a little bit more. And I like curly toes, so that's me. From here, my belly is soft. And I'm going to breathe in, shift forward on the yoga mat, nose in between the forearms. Now, when my nose gets kind of in alignment with my wrist, I tighten my core, belly button towards my spine, peel my forearms off the yoga mat, shift a little forward, and then keep that tight core, curve my spine to the back of the room for that cat posture, and then exhale, lower back down to my forearms. Now we do that again. Practice, practice. Inhale, shift forward, belly soft. Exhale, tighten the core, peel the forearms off, shift a little forward, curve the spine to the top of the room. Exhale, lower back down to the heels. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, tighten that belly button, curve the spine to the top of the room, come on down. One more time. Inhale, shift forward. Tighten the core, peel the forearms, curve your spine to the top of the room, and back towards your heels. All right, come back onto your hands and knees. If you're seated in the chair, it's opposite knee, opposite arm. We're going to do the activation of the multifidi. It's the deepest held layer of our spine muscles. When your multifidi is not used properly, it turns to fat and it recruits other muscles to do the work, therefore causing back pain. So we got to strengthen that with bird dog or oppositional reach. So from here, if you're here on your hands and knees, take your opposite hand and foot, one hand in front of you, one foot back behind you, make it nice and long. Contract that belly button, lift the foot. And if you're doing this seated in the chair, hand underneath the knee in towards the chest, same side arm, and then lift the opposite arm to the sky. So activate those spine muscles. Y'all should be feeling this. Arm and leg come down, hand and knee come back to the center. Again, you're seated in the chair. It's going to be knee into the chest and arm towards your ear when you do this. A little bit different variation. From here, let's do the other side. Extend the other arm and then your opposite foot. Foot can be pushed to the back of the room, calf activated. From here, belly button tight, tight, tight. Lift the heel, lift the arm, the best you can do. Breathe in, look at the floor. And then exhale, lower back down to the floor and bring it back into the center. Now, I typically keep everything kind of tight when we're doing extended arm and leg, even when I'm breathing in, even when I'm breathing out. Here we go. Inhale, opposite arm and leg out. Exhale, tighten the belly button, arm and leg lift up. Inhale, belly soft, arm and leg come down. Exhale, belly button tight, bring it back to the center. Let's do the other side. Inhale, other arm and leg extend out. Belly soft if you can. Exhale, opposite arm and leg up. Very good, very good. Inhale, arm and leg down. Exhale, belly button tight, bring it back to the center. From here, let's come up to standing. I'm looking at our time here. I'm going to take my foot out to the side and bring it up in between my hands. I typically use a chair, but you know what? I'm going to use the yoga block instead. I do that to make the floor come up towards me. And I shift a little forward, curl that back toe, lift that back knee, take that back foot, hop, walk it next to the other foot. Bend the knees, hands on the hips, hinge up. So when we come up from the floor to standing, there might be some dizzy issues. Hands on your heart, feet a little wide, chin towards your chest. Breathe in, belly soft, and exhale. So when you do the oppositional reach, it's like a cardiac kind of yoga posture. It kicks up the heart rate. So you might notice your heart rate a little elevated. And especially when you come up off the ground, also heart rate kicks up a little bit. So just notice what you notice or don't notice, yeah? All right, from here, I'm going to take my blanket out of the way. Oh, my yoga mat is all crooked. Of course it is. And I'm going to grab my chair. Now, you can do this either seated on the chair or the chair at the front of your yoga mat, or not use the yoga mat at all. So those of you that are going to be doing the seated warrior poses, it's leg out to the side, kind of shift over a little bit, and you're pushing vigorously into the floor, torso towards the front of the camera, arms out into a letter T. So you're going to feel lots of inner thigh business going on here. The key is, whether you're seated, whether you're standing, to be vigorously into the floor. So step your feet wide. And again, I use a chair because I'm quite wiggly. And I have super long legs, so I like to go a little wider. And then I lift a heel and turn my foot towards the short end of the yoga mat. Again, if you got SI joint dysfunction, sometimes weighted twists really aggravates that joint. So we're going to bend the knee towards the short end of the yoga mat. And then can you see your knee kind of in alignment with your toes? And you know, typically I'm leaning over when I do this, but then I got to think about shoulders over my hips. Now I'm going to heel toe out a little bit because Again, I got super long legs. It feels really comfortable for me to have wider stance. You might play around with that also. This is a bone building exercise because you're using all these major muscle groups. Now, we're not just standing here in back yoga. We're vigorously standing here. So think about pressing firmly into the floor as if there's a wrinkle on your yoga mat. And you know, we hate wrinkles, right? We think about pressing down and away to smooth out that wrinkle to get into the hip musculature. So it's good stuff. Might be spicy. Return your attention to your breath if it's spicy. Listen to the breath as you go. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, maybe bend your knee a little bit more. All right, beautiful. Now, hands can stay on the chair, or you can go out into a letter T, squeeze the shoulders. You remember that golfer's grip? Do the golfer's grip, thumbs up, but then we're going to do thumbs forward. Squeezy shoulders, firm feet into the floor, looking forward. Draw circles forward and back behind you. Oh, what wondrous torture is this? So this is bilateral movement. We've got a little wave action going on, strengthening the upper back musculature in addition into getting into the hip musculature, those strong feet, legs into the floor. Maybe it goes faster, maybe it doesn't. It's okay. You can just do one if necessary, all right? Just know that's available. Or you can just keep it still. That's okay too. Two more, 2 and 1. Shake out the shoulders. Whew. So we're staying in the pose. Did y'all notice that? Okay, firm feet into the floor, pushing those away. Let's do reverse warrior. Go back into that letter T, re-squeeze, palm up over the bent knee side, reach forward, woo, and then up into the sky. You can hang onto the chair, fist on the hip, or a hand down the leg. Leg might be talking. I think mine's talking. You can look where the elbow pit is, or the hand, or where the wall meets the ceiling, or look forward if you got that vertigo going on. And then float the arm down, relax the shoulders, softly straighten that leg, pivot the foot cautiously, heel toe in. Kind of move those hips a little bit because when we're in that posture a little bit, man, you kind of feel like stuck a little bit. Let's do that again. Step those feet wide. We're going to do the other side. If you're seated on the chair, we're going over to the other side of the chair. Knee goes out. Lift that heel, turn that foot, bend that knee. Lots of instructions, eh? Look and see, knee aligned with the foot, foot aligned with the knee. I don't go as wide on this side. And again, I'm looking to that. Then straighten my shoulders or my hips. Very good. Again, we're going to do the golfer's grip. Fold the fingers into the pads. Get that one down. It doesn't work. Squeeze the shoulders. We did thumbs forward before. This time it's the fun one. Thumbs up. Woo! Thumbs back behind you. Oh, maybe not. And let's not forget, there's a wrinkle on the floor. Press firmly, press away. Draw circles back behind you. Squeeze those shoulders. Donna, you're probably going, why did I ask about sciatica? Why did I ask about kyphosis? Oh, yeah. We do this in class anyway. Are you squeezing the shoulders? That's what I want to know. Miss Vicky, I think you're taking a little rest, right? Okay. See, I was checking on. I'm looking at you. I'm checking on y'all. This also increases the heart rate when you do this one. 3 more. Here we go. 3, press firm into the floor. 2, I don't know how to count. And 1, shake out those shoulders. Keep the posture in the lower body though. Press firm, press away. Go back to that letter T arms. Palm up over the bent knee side or the one that you stepped out. Reach forward and up. Again, hand on the chair, fist on the hip, arm down the leg. Side lateral movement, firm feet into the floor. You should start to feel this if you haven't already. I'm doing hand on the chair on this one because again, I'm kind of wiggly today. Float the arm down, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in. You're seated on the chair. We're going to do tree pose next. You would take your yoga block a little bit away from your chair to where you can, or maybe closer, bring your foot, the ball of the foot, and knee out to the side, one knee towards the front of the room. So we're getting, again, firm into the floor, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. If you're standing, you're using a chair or the wall, step a foot out, Lift the heel, turn the foot out to the side, lay that heel down. The balance foot, make sure it's pointing towards 12 o'clock. It's not turned out to the side, okay? Try not to jut your hip. Try to be long and tall. And I'm doing fingertips on the chair today. Lift the heel. Maybe this is your tree. Maybe this is your tree. Maybe you can walk it into the ankle. Again, it's still a balance pose, even if you have both parts, some parts of both feet on the floor. Maybe you can slide it into the calf. Ooh, make sure the knee is out to the side. So again, to get that bone building benefit, we're pressing into the floor, pressing into the calf, or maybe the inner thigh. Arms can be lifted, and think about from the pubic bone to the collarbone, lifting, lengthening, up, up, up. There might be this dance of the foot happening. And release. Beautiful. Move a little bit side to side. Shift your block over to the other side. If you're doing the seated one, I'm just going to go to the other side of the chair, other side of the room. And then step the foot out, lift my heel, turn that knee. Again, one knee one way, one knee the other, checking to see my balance foot. I'm going to walk it in. Now for this side, I'm able to bring it into the inner thigh, but not on the other side. So it's all kind of weird and different. Again, I'm thinking about pubic bone, collarbone, lengthening up, breathing. And again, sometimes the knee travels to the front of the room. Invite it to be out to the side. That might be doing less, okay? Again, you're pressing vigorously into the surface that you're touching, whether it's the leg, whether it's floor. So again, get into the body. In other words, activate those muscles. And release. Move a little bit side to side. We're going to make time for the movement meditation today. So you can be standing, you can be seated on the chair. I'm going to do the standing one today. And basically the feet are a little bit apart, pointing towards 12 o'clock. I'm going to roll those shoulders up and back. Do the closed adjustment pose. And the palms are forward in Tadasana or mountain posture. Again, if you're seated on a chair, maybe shifted forward a little bit on the chair. And I'm looking at everything here. Everything's nice and aligned. So from here, let's inhale, gather the arms in front of us, gather in. Exhale, raise them up to shoulder height. Inhale, open outwards. Exhale, contract those arms inward. Inhale, flow it towards your chest. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, let's descend. Exhale, disperse out. Again, inhaling, gather in. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, open outwards. Exhale, contract those arms inward. Inhale, flow towards the chest. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, descend. Exhale, disperse out. From here, inhale, circle, sweep, arms up. If you're seated in the chair, you're going to do the same thing. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Press those feet firmly into the floor. Maybe lean a little forward if you're seated in the chair. Inhale, circle, sweep, arms up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Stick the booty out. Feet firm into the floor. I love it. Inhale, circle, sweep, arms up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Stay here, firm feet into the floor. But keep breathing, keep breathing. This is a cardiac, blood increasing, heart rate increasing yoga posture. Chair pose. All right, here on the next inhale breath, breathe in. And then hands to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to come back down to the floor, come back down to the chair. So I'm going to use that chair to come down to the floor. Let's go back onto our back in that constructive rest posture. Get your blanket, your towel close by. You may want to take the yoga blanket or towel, roll it up, put it underneath the bend of the knees in a bit or not. So again, let's go to constructive rest posture. Notice how your body feels connected to the floor. I'm kind of moving, my places in my body a little bit. And then let's do the notice posture where we extend one leg, then the other. If you want to be going over to the couch instead of the chair, that's a nice alternate place to be. So what some folks will do during the guided rest relaxation is to lie here on their backs, or maybe bend the knees, but bring the feet a little wide apart and drop the knees in. That's often very yummy for the backside. They might slide the legs up the wall. And then I know a lot of folks like to do the legs on the side of the chair or the couch. That's again for further releasing tension in the spine. You would come next to the chair and kind of cartwheel your calves, the back of the legs, onto the chair or onto your couch. And what I do, and what Vicki does, we kind of move our backside away from a little bit, so we have this little traction feeling going on. Or you can have the blanket underneath the back of the knees. And again, hands can rest comfortably on your torso, arms out to the side. You could take your yoga blanket, cover up your eyes or your body if you're feeling a little cool, a little chilled. And while you're here, just breathe a little bit. Again, I'm going to come up to the front of the room for our guided rest and relaxation. So get comfortable. Breathing in, breathing out. When we finish our guided rest and relaxation practice, we do a little bit for the neck and the shoulders, so stay for that. It's a little bonus that we do. Again, I invite you to get just a little bit more comfortable. So there's two parts to reducing chronic pain. One is a movement class, and often people have found great benefit from attending one of our Yoga Nidra meditation classes that helps you to further release chronic daily pain. So that's what happened to me when I took the Veterans Yoga Project training. Was having lots of spicy hip and back pain. And one of the gentlemen that was the facilitator said, hey, I want you to go home, go up on SoundCloud, do Veterans Yoga Project, Yoga Nidra tonight, and then the next morning, and then come back and tell me how you feel. So part of this guided rest and relaxation is a part of that. So I did the Yoga Nidra over there on SoundCloud, did the same one in the morning, and I made a beeline for Richard that next day. I said, oh my gosh, what was that? I was able to sleep better because I had less pain, and I had less pain and I was able to sleep better. So it was like a magic combination because I had, bouts of insomnia. So I invite you all to investigate that also, okay? I do have some recordings on the YouTube that you can check out too. So again, I invite you to get comfortable. Notice the surface that's supporting you, whether it's the chair, the couch, the floor. Notice that heaviness of the back side of the body, of whatever's touching what supports. So you feel like heavy as a rock. Heavy, 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 weighted. Then let's flip that to the front places of the body. Just notice the air coming across the skin. Maybe the clothing draped on the skin. Maybe notice that your arms, your legs, your torso feels lighter in the front places of the body compared to the places that are being supported by the surface beneath you. Just notice your breath. Now don't change it in any way. Just notice. How does it feel like here to breathe in? And how does it feel here to breathe out? Again, breathing in, breathing out. Listen to the sound of the breath going in through the nostril tips and out through the nostril tips. And from here, I invite you to come back into the now, back into the present moment. So wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes. If you're lying on your back, Maybe bring the knees into your chest and do a little side-to-side movement. If you're seated in the chair, knees wide, and do those shoulder circles to kind of get into that hip musculature. Nice and slow. Your knees can be together or apart if you're lying on your back, doing this little back massage. And then reverse, go the other direction. Go slow. Find those spots are still kind of sticky, kind of like, need a little bit more. Maybe you kind of hang out in that area a little bit. And then come back around. And then come back to the center. Feet back down onto the floor if you're on your back. Gently roll over onto one side. You choose which one. And then you take the hand that's in front of you, press into the ground, bring yourself up, hands to your chest, chin to your chest. Because sometimes, we can feel a little dizzy when we come up off the floor. So we're just kind of gathering our equilibrium here. So we'll do 2 movement patterns to help with our upper body, neck, head business, okay? Maybe 3, I don't know. So first is going to be spread the feathers. It's a Tai Chi, chair Tai Chi movement. We're going to spread our hands out nice and wide and bring the arm out to the side and then rotate the thumb to the back of the room. Maybe the arm a little bit lower towards the floor. Very good. You take your opposite ear, drop it towards your shoulder, and then lift your chin. Now, if your hand is on your torso, maybe drop the arm. So this opens up the cartoid on the arm side. And you kind of feel that sensation in the bicep, the tricep, and then bring it back to the center. Nice and gentle. Don't go too fast. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So spread out those hands nice and wide, and then turn your thumb to the back of the room. Maybe lower your arm a little bit. Very good. Opposite ear towards your shoulder, and then lift your chin. And again, feel that sensation on that extended arm side, and then bring everything back to the center. Next is swimming dragon. We're checking the range of motion in the shoulders, the necks. So we're going to do the little prayer hands. You can hook the thumbs or not, and then sit up nice and tall. Push one set of elbows towards one direction, and the head goes the opposite direction. Natural movement, don't force it. Just kind of notice where you go here with your range of motion. Then bring it back to the center. Very good. Reset yourself. Be nice, tall posture. And then push the elbows the other way, and the head goes the other direction. Ooh, does it go more on this side, that second side? Maybe, maybe not. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, go to the other side. Head and shoulders go opposite directions, I guess. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, push the other direction. And then back to the center. From here, it's called the Atlas point. That's where the back of the head inserts into the head, or the back of the spine inserts into the head. That makes sense, right? You basically take your nose and draw a circle. You may notice this little crinkly stuff going on when you do this. This makes you dizzy. Have the eyes look forward instead of following the circle. That little crepitus, that little noisy inner body noise. And then you're going to pause and go the other direction. So here we go. Again, you're noticing what you notice, hearing what you hear. And then bring it back to the center. All right, we're going to end our class with gratitude and our ending sayings, and I'll stop the recording. So you can place your hands stacked upon your heart, into your heart, or hands resting on the top of your lap. You get to choose here. And if you drop your chin towards your chest, that's in gratitude of you just showing up today. Little back of the upper back neck stretch also. So let's think of one thing that we're grateful for, or an idea of gratitude. And we'll just kind of bring that into our heart space. All right, good. And then you can keep your chin towards your chest or gaze forward, eyes opened or closed. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. Let me stop the recording.